The Trump investigation, if you will, was a massive deflection operation on a number of levels. I mean, the person that was actually colluding with the Russians that we know very well was Hillary Clinton. I mean, if you want to talk about Skolkovo, where she transferred massive amounts of American intellectual property and technology to the Russians, or you want to talk about Uranium One, with the $150 million going to the Clinton Foundation in exchange for Hillary Clinton approving, as the head of CFIUS, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, the sale of Uranium One to the Russians, which gave 20% of our uranium supplies, a strategic national asset, to the Russians. Or you want to talk about her collusion with Christopher Steele, who was colluding with Russians to develop intelligence, or I think disinformation, about Donald Trump and, prostitutes allegedly in Moscow.
The dossier, the fake dossier.
The fake dossier, right. I mean,
and of course, she personally received money from the Russians through her husband's speaking engagements there.
Right.
A $500,000 speech to a Russian firm connected to her Uranium One.
So Renaissance Capital, right.
She was getting money directly as Secretary of State from Russia in her personal coffers. I mean, they are married, so money to him goes to her.
Right. I mean, talk about. The conflicts of interest are legion with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and the Russians and her.
Boy, I would like to see, Bill, a Mueller report, style report, written on what the Obama White House was doing as it had to deal with the Clinton email scandal in the middle of the presidential campaign.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what was being said. I'd like President Obama to authorize all of his employees to talk to prosecutors about what was said and whether there was any, quote, obstruction of that investigation. Maybe we can get all the notes of his lawyers and all the Justice Department attorneys talking about it too. Well, the good news is our court has authorized us to ask some of the lawyers involved in this cover-up, or may have been involved in the cover-up. So we'll be deposing some State Department attorneys, even Hillary Clinton's attorney, Heather Samuelson, who helped delete some of these emails, evidently. So isn't it remarkable that all of this is coming out as the Russia collusion scandal the coup effort in many ways has suffered significant setbacks as a result of Mueller being forced to admit there was no collusion.
Right. Well, the wind has gone out of those sails, and to stick with the metaphor, maybe the ship is turning around. And hopefully with the criminal referrals by Devin Nunes to Attorney General Barr, surrounding potentially criminal conduct in the obtaining of FISA warrants illegally against Carter Page and possibly others in the Trump campaign, as well as some of the other referrals that were made by Congressman Nunes. Hopefully, Attorney General Barr will restore this republic, which I would argue is fractured at its foundation. The situation it can't be allowed to stand as it is with this two-tiered system of justice, because it will fester. I mean, it
occurs to me, Barr can't help but investigate the Clinton email scandal because it goes to the motives as to why Strzok, Page, Comey, McCabe, etc. were illicitly targeting Trump. It's because they were protecting Hillary. So you can't untie the Russia collusion abuse from the Clinton email scandal. They're two peas in a pod. They're two sides of the same coin. However you want to describe it, that investigation, that illicit targeting of Trump, was designed not only to protect Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, but it was the motive. It's the motive. So if you're looking to make a case, if indeed that's what the Attorney General is aiming to do, as I think he ought to do, given the kind of in-your-face evidence of abuse of power by Strzok in the least, that's part of the case. He wanted Hillary to win, and therefore, for instance, he covered up the Wiener laptop material until he had his hand forced in disclosing it to the FBI headquarters.